So, I'm Jukkis, I'm from Finland. This is my 6th camp with Club Brothers, 2nd time in Wagrain. Love it, it's great. Thanks for all you joining this class. We are doing some foot sweeps today from stand-up. You can do gi, no gi, both works fine. Little bit of background first. I have a background in judo, been doing that since 37 years, and after 20 years I switched my focus to BJJ, but nevertheless the stand-up has stayed as my niche area. I hear often people asking, like, should we do, which one is better for BJJ, wrestling or judo? I would like to change that question. I think that the best for BJJ is BJJ. It's a different sport, different rules. It makes all the difference. It doesn't mean that we cannot copy ideas from other sports, but it's still not judo, not wrestling, it's BJJ. And primarily, I think that the reason is that it is so difficult to learn those stand-up arts like judo. You should not really spend that much time there, because if you spend like 1,000 hours there, it's all away from your BJJ training. So whatever you kind of start to work on when it comes to stand-up, you should be selective and come up with something that is a wise time investment. And primarily, the gi gripping, in gi, the gripping, grip fighting is the most important thing. If you can get a better grip than your opponent, everything becomes easier. No matter if you are pulling hard, you are shooting, or you are doing any other takedowns, it's easier if you have better grip than your opponent. And also the same goes the other way around. It's harder for your opponent, but it's also if they try to pull hard, try to shoot or do any other takedowns, throws, it's always hard if you don't have a solid grip. But sometimes you don't get good grips. You get maybe as good grips as your opponent, and then foot sweeps becomes handy, because those you can do without like a dominant grip. So we are going to then focus on the foot sweeps today, but one particularly difficult thing with the foot sweeps is that the time window when you should actually do that is rather small. And then the question is that how do you train this timing for the foot sweeps? And today I'm going to bring you some ideas how you can kind of speed up the learning of that. It's not going to be instant, but if you know what you're looking for, it is going to be kind of faster, and then it starts to make sense to learn those foot sweeps as well. But before we do that, let's do some basic movements first by ourselves, and then with an opponent, and then we'll do some kind of foot sweep exercise after that. But please take some space for yourself and start repeating after me. We'll do first like just sweeping with the legs like this, from side to side. Try to make that noise from the tatami. You hear the foot is touching the floor pretty much all the time. Also notice how your foot is turning and pointing to the direction where it's sweeping. And your knees are not fully locked, but they are slightly bent so that your balance stays, so your head should be rather steady as you go. And then let's add like a one step to the side in between. Now what you should be able to do is to stay quite close to the ground as you go, but still make the same sweeping sound from the ground. Okay, then we stay here, and then you can take the second hand to join. So this is like pulling the guy down after the leg is swept down. And then let's add a step backwards. So I will first step backwards and do the sweeping motion then. And then I step back here and I repeat to the other side. No crazy movement. It's very like, try to not move too much with your upper body. Now check this way. The sweeping shouldn't be like this, but rather like your hip goes forward as you sweep. So you can keep on doing that. And now you can take the left hand with you. Okay, that's it. Then let's add some difficulty. Let's first bring this leg up and then sweep in motion. So you kind of start moving and then you lift and then you sweep. Doesn't have to go that far, but from the knee downward, the leg is first moving, and then you can take your hand with you. And the most difficult thing that we do, we add that one jump to the side and do the same thing. Now it gets a little bit difficult, but that's it. That's as hard as it gets. Okay, so these are the things you kind of need to be able to do before you can start doing the foot sweeps. Now let's skip the solo drill and let's have a partner. Yeah. Then, like what we try to do with the partner, we need to have some sort of a sense of a rhythm in order to kind of feel the timing. So let's try to learn the rhythm with our partner, and we do so that we are here, like collar, sleeve, both, and we start moving that direction in a cooperation, like that, and then we come back. And what we try to reach is that we move at the same time, we don't jump high, and the sound is coming from the ground. And you try to do it at the same time with your partner. Like 5 steps there, 5 steps there. And let's do it this way. So pick a partner, roughly the same size. And if you don't have a gi, then you can just simply grab the wrist and whatever makes sense for you. Okay, let's go. Now, a couple of things. Try to avoid like going up and down like that. Try to be balanced at all times. Then also don't look there. Just focus on the chest, roughly the heart level or so. Now let's add a little bit like a rhythm play here. So what we try to do, we take one step like this, and then we like fake sweeping, but we don't throw the guy. But the other guy should do like this. And then we continue. So let's see. We haven't tried this before, so let's see if it works. Yeah. So you try to catch the kind of the leg that is coming kind of behind. You try to catch it with your leg, touching it slightly, no kicking. And if you kind of come too late, stay there. This is not good. So you try to find it when it's coming like that, but also keep the kind of opponent standing up, and the other person should cooperate. And you should find this kind of rhythm play. Let's see if that works. Okay. It was slightly harder now. Let's kind of discuss about a few points. So when I'm trying to sweep his leg, it's like two options. I either manage to find the time when his left feet is just leaving the ground. So I try to make it on time for that. Or the other option is that I would be able to catch it when it goes down. It's like stepping on a banana and then you fall, but that's way harder. So basically what we're today focusing is to trying to catch the leg before it can, just when it leaves the ground. So that's what we are aiming for. I will now show like how this would turn into a judo throw, just for you to get an idea what we are after. So are you okay? Yeah. Okay. You don't have to do it, but I'm just showing that you get an idea. So basically what I'm doing, I'm only like trying to get that leg. I'm kind of pushing him a bit, and then I'm pulling him a bit back when I get that leg. And after that, I'm making sure that I'm holding him. I just want him to fall down. And that's why it's typically easier to do it on the side where you have your kind of sleeve. This is then easier to control the takedown, but you can do it on the other side as well. But one more time. Now I lost the grip, but it fell nicely. So that's judo throw. So like I said, we can take ideas from judo. We'll go to the timings shortly, but let's do some BJJ specific thing first, because sometimes it still happens that even though I try to get the foot on time and match it with the other leg, it's quite often I fail it and it goes like this, and I need to do something from that to finish the takedown. So let's learn that now through a small game, and the game goes like this. The starting position is this. I have his leg in the air, and my goal is to kind of make him fall from here and preferably keeping him down somehow, like knee on a belly. Side control is good. Mount is obviously good. This is not as good, but okay as well. This is not good. So keep in mind that we are in BJJ, we want to get a head start. We want to win the battle. So that's your goal. You try to sweep so that you get the points and you are in good position. And the only thing you are allowed to do is to sweep with your leg. You need to keep the grips at the same time. And what you are allowed to do, you are not allowed to put your leg down. And once your kind of back hits the ground, you can try to escape. And if I don't get points, like you can continue 3, 4, 5 seconds, but not a sparring match. Okay. Have a partner, take your space, and starting position this. Take at your own pace and try to see what you need to do to make the other one fall. And take it on with the pace that you feel comfortable with your partner. Okay, go. Okay, I want to hear it from you. What did you learn? What works? Any ideas?
You need to pull a lot
You need to pull.
and like turn.
Pull and turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Yeah?
Deception goes a long way. Push and pull.
Yeah? Other things?
Once their legs up, like it's pretty easy to get them
Yes?
once you're there.
Something else? I'm looking for one thing in particular.
I realized every single time that I was having a problem kicking someone in the sweep, it is always waiting for them to put their foot down before I tap their foot. So the little drill that we did was the timing was to make sure that I tap their foot as they're moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that that is definitely the hardest part, to find the timing. But now that we had it already up, like, then the question is, what is the most typical things that people kind of need to learn? Well, first of all, one thing that hardly ever you start going backwards. That doesn't really work. Also, it hardly ever goes like this. Quite many times you realize that it's actually the only direction if you want to move somewhere, it's forward. And the other thing, like you said, turn. You kind of need to remember that this side leg is not in the ground. So you turn it that way. So you kind of push. Somebody said, you said push. Yeah. And then this side. That's something that you need to learn by doing. Or realize that it's a bit hard when you start like from like a static position, but still you get the point that this is what you kind of, it's not that hard if you get the leg up and you know that which direction you need to try. The one in particular that I was after is that quite often when we take people down, we worry about the takedown because the takedown gives us points. No, takedown doesn't give us the points. It's the control after the takedown that gives us the points. So quite often you kind of throw nicely and the other person comes up or disappears. So some of you, I noticed that you are kind of gradually adding more control. And that's the thing I typically also hear that people kind of say, yeah, it's quite hard to finish it. Yeah, but that's why when you see that he's falling, you should start focusing on that finishing thing. So now we have the basic mechanics about how to sweep, how to move with your partner. And if we get the feet and he didn't fall right away, we know that, okay, now it's a battle. It's a scramble that we need to win, and then we get into the ground. Now the only missing piece is the when do you kick the leg to get the feet up. That's the main point of today. So before going there, like you can all probably see that this thing doesn't happen in sparring. That you do like 5 steps like that. Or even if I'm actually, I prefer the backwards motion. I prefer to do it like actually like this, that I'm sweeping into that direction. So we move like this, but not sideways. But even then, people don't just walk long time. But it's still like if you are in a static position, and if I'm just trying to guess when that foot is leaving the ground, and I try my luck, the time window is so small that I hardly ever make it. But the great thing with this 2 feet human being is that before we can, move this feet or this feet, we need to move the other feet. So basically, if I'm about to step with this, it's typically that this leg steps first, and then this comes after, and this only leaves the ground when this one goes down. So I don't have to just guess when this is about to go down. I know that it's not going up now. It's not going up now. Now it might. So right when this goes down, this goes up. And it means like this. So what I need to look for, I need to get one indication here that the step is coming. So when this is going down, that's my moment. So I'm looking for this. And it might be the other way around. I'm moving as I like, but right after I put this one down, this might come up. So that's the thing we are utilizing. So now, instead of just hoping for the best for that leg, I'm actually trying to make him step the other leg and then catching the second one. It's like, the band, when they start playing, they don't just magically start all at the same time, but the drummer gives like first and then they go. So it's the same thing. You kind of feel that, okay, now it's coming. And since you have done that rhythm exercise, you kind of know what that means, or you need to work that much that you understand that, okay, this goes first, then the second. But the idea here is for me to focus on the other foot. Again. So let's do, we can be like this, and I try to make you step with that, and then I try to catch the other. So now I have an idea which can make the timing faster. So one more time. Looks the same, but the only trick I do, I'm focusing on the other leg and trying to sense when that goes down to hit the other leg. Okay, take your time to study this a bit. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So a little bit of troubleshooting. Like, I know it's not easy. It takes probably a long time to figure out the timing. For me, personally, I somehow just learned this. I didn't know why, but it just happened to work in a competition. I wasn't able to explain it to anybody. And then when I started doing BJJ, I realized that it's so damn difficult for these people to learn it. And I was thinking, why? And I was, okay, what am I actually doing when I'm sweeping? And then I realized that I have just developed kind of an instinct that I know when to sweep. Then I was thinking that, okay, how do I know that happens? And then I realized that that's actually what I do. I follow the other leg. I try to make him step. So it's basically, some of you had challenges with this. The point is that while we are just doing it here, the main point is that I try to make him step backwards. Now I can find the timing. That's the thing you do. In real life sparring, of course, things are more chaotic. But the main point is that we don't need this. We don't need to walk like this. 1, 2, 3, and then go. But we can look for the chances like this. So if he happens to start with the other leg going down, then I know it's the other. So the point is that he cannot walk backwards more than just one step without me having this opportunity. And that's the key. So no matter how we move, if I get him to move backwards, there is always sweep, one or the other. And that's the thing. That's why it's no longer that difficult. You don't have to see, no, he never walks like 3 steps. No, he doesn't have to. He needs to take 1 step back. And if he only like does this and he stays there, yeah, then we lost it. But quite often he, for example, like this is okay. There is always an opportunity here. So now. And of course, some people also do this. They never leave the foot. You see, anybody doing this? No, nobody ever does this. So it's like quite often that you use your feet like one after another. So the opportunities are there for us to pick. Then there was a good question that, what do I do? It sounds like a blended question. What do I do to make him that step? Well, obviously that is the next thing that we are going through. So I don't even have to wait for him to make this thing happen. I can kind of plant the reaction. Like when I'm starting to push him, I'm not sure if he's like stepping backwards. But what if I just do an opener with the ochigari like this? I can make him move. So I can do combinations. For example, this ochigari works well. I can start by pushing the other leg down, and then I know that the next, I don't have to kind of wait and see if he's kind of moving with his feet, because I'm moving it, I know. Now. So I can learn this in advance. I can train this movement so that every time when I hit that ochi, I will go with the other foot afterwards. So that's kind of, I'm planting the reaction on purpose. And that makes the timing much easier, because now I can study it at home. I don't have to go to the competition to study it or try my luck, but I have an idea how to kind of make this thing happen. So I start with this, followed by the foot sweep. And again, the way how I propose you to do it is like, yeah, you can like just make this, and then you don't have to throw that hard. But now, still at the same thing as we did in the exercise, finish it so that you get the points. And so now you are allowed to escape after your back hits the ground. So you continue that couple of seconds to remember that that's what you kind of always should aim for to get the points. So the ochigari, don't worry about how that happens. Just push it with the other leg. Just make him step 1 step back, and then try to hit the leg, finish it, keep it, wait for the referee to show 2. Okay, 1, 2. course, the main piece of today's class was this idea of the timing and how you can help it with having this early indicator. Like he's stepping back, I know that after that is a potential chance for my sweep. And the second idea was that I can plant this reaction by doing something which then follows the opportunity for my throw. And it sounds like I said, it's not judo. It's kind of utilized in judo, but we do this in BJJ all the time. Like if you go down, like for example, go down. Like for example, if I want to pass his card and just turn this guy around, like his back is on the ground, I cannot make him turn. But if you are on your butt, on your butt, so take your hand there, he moves easily. So if I can find the timing when he's kind of coming from that to his butt, I can, time my sweep better. So that's the same thing. I'm waiting for the opportunity, he coming up, then I know his butt is kind of making him spin. And again, we have probably all seen that this thing I can, make him, react like that. So I can, here is exactly the same idea in use. So I'm trying to get him on his butt. It's difficult if I just wait for my luck. If I try to push him, it doesn't work. But if I can kind of plant the reaction, push the leg backwards, then suddenly he will give that to me. And I pretty much know when it's coming. When his leg is coming like this, quite often the back comes after. So it's an idea that you already know, but we tend not to understand that this is kind of what we do in we can do in takedowns as well. Yeah, other ideas? Yeah, there, yeah, go there. Yeah, it's like also sweeping, like if I try to like take my leg away, don't let me go. If I don't just keep it like that. Yeah, pulling my leg from here is hard, but if I first push towards my opponent and get him to push me, yeah, then I can move. Yeah, it also can be like, let's say, armbar. I like to do arm bars from the mount, and the trick that I'm doing is I'm waiting him to lift his elbow, because when he does that, I sit here, and then I can get my arm bar. So I can wait him to lift this one, or I can plant the reaction by pushing this hand over there, and when I do that, he starts to open his elbow. So it happens everywhere in Jiu-Jitsu. And this is like especially important for the timing sensitive techniques when you don't have all the time. Maybe that kind of armbar example is not that timing sensitive, but passing often is. If you have to do speed passing of some kind, then you typically need to plant the reaction and then hope for it to come and then utilize that to make your technique. So it's the same thing now applied in a kind of stand-up. So oftentimes when you do your takedowns, you probably are trying them in isolation if they don't work. But that's what kind of the judo players do and jiu-jitsu wrestlers do. They kind of build the opportunity instead of just hoping. And then we have still some time, so but hold on. Questions at this point? Okay, then let's do a bonus technique, because I think that sometimes it might be harder to see that this one actually exists, because let's say if a judo player or BJJ wrestler does a takedown, it might be so fast that you don't really recognize it. But let me show one sample, so you just stand like this a bit wider. Let's do like Kochigari, and I could do it from here. Yeah, let's do it from this grip. So what I'm trying to do, I try to make him fall like this, or maybe I do no-gi version. So I try to make him fall like this, but if he's like stable and heavy in his place, it's gonna be quite difficult. I'm not going to get it working. But if I can get him kind of pull a bit backwards, and put his weight down and a little bit back, it becomes easier. And how do I get him to pull? It's by pulling, yeah. But if I pull like this, he comes forward and then he, corrects his balance right away. So that's not what I'm after. But what if I can do a small, you can try, stay a bit bent for me, and it's okay. Yeah, if I can make a small reaction from him, like this. So I'm just pulling a bit. So he does this. Might be a small thing, but it makes all the difference because for a split second, he is going backwards. And the only thing I need to do is giving a bit of push. So we can do this. Let's do a no-gi friendly version. So I'm just gripping this here, and I'm kind of as if I would be going to the back. I'm doing a similar kind of thing, but what I'm really doing, I'm pushing him backwards. And let me do it as a takedown. That's Jukka-Pekka, another type of foot sweep. But now this is, for example, the thing that you don't really realize, that there is this same idea of planting the reaction because it's so subtle, it's so combined with the thing, but actually it makes a whole lot of difference. He can fall like he feels like, what was that? Might come from the sky. So the thing you do, wrist and arm, and you try to find that momentum when he's actually reacting like this, and then you try to make him fall down. This is a bit harder, but let's see, this is advanced class anyways. Okay, let's go. Try to make the legs like and then don't step in, just stay there. And then it's easier for you. Like I said, this last one was a bonus technique, a bit harder, but the point of this class is to make you understand what is actually the idea of building the timing. It's not just pure luck. And you can say that, yeah, let's just use your instinct, but it takes years to develop. It can work if you are a small kid and you learn it from there. But if you're an adult, I've learned that it speeds up things if you know what's going on there. And the bonus technique was basically just to understand that this can be more subtle. If you see these kind of things done on a high level, now you should kind of know how and why they managed to do the timing better. Any questions? Okay, so good. It sounds like I answered all your questions already, but one final tip before we end is that now on your learning journey, you might be sometimes looking at videos and you find a technique that you would like to learn working at the highest level. Now, my idea, what I hope you to do is that take that video, slow it down, and just go a couple of steps back. Try to see what is the reaction that the opponent gives just before the technique. And then you will be able to kind of solve the puzzle there, because that's typically what you can see in Jiu-Jitsu, no matter what's the technique. Because the person who succeeds with the technique utilize that reaction, they might have landed that, or they just have an instinct to go for that, but quite often there is a reaction that happens before that. So study that and you will be more successful. Okay, thank you. Let's end it here. Let's take a picture.